So, once we're done with manufacturing, then we've got goods available to pick, pack, and ship. So, um, we'd love to see that, Matthew. If you could show that to us, that'd be great.
Of course. Let me
And
go ahead and share my screen.
what I like to see in the picking screen is a list of sales orders to pick and their availability. We kind of went over this with the work orders, right? I kind of like to see the same thing with the sales orders, like the quantity available and the date they're scheduled. And we worked with an Odoo partner that did that for us and for some of our clients. And so we know that could be done, and that'd be great if we could show that in this demo.
All right. So here's my screen. You see that all right?
Yeah.
You know what? Let's just make a sales order, right? So I'm going to create a quotation real quick, pick a customer, right? This should look somewhat familiar. We have the invoice address, delivery address already being pulled from the system since we have Deco Addict as a contact. The price list here, payment terms, great. So I'm going to pick a couple products here. Let's go, I think we have this in stock. So I'll pick this and say 5, why not? And then I'm going to go ahead and grab a table and just do one of those. We have that in stock. You can see in the forecast. Go ahead and save that. Great. So what we would do here technically is send this quotation to a customer, but I'm going to bypass that step since I think we already took a look at that and just confirm it, right? So going to manually confirm this sales order. And this has created a delivery smart button here.
Okay.
So what we've done here is basically confirmed that the client has paid, or if you're, gathering or if you're taking the invoice after delivery, then this would also be the next step, right? Confirming the invoice before payment. So again, it's kind of up to you how you would like to run this, and if it's on a by product basis, you can also, confirm certain orders but wait for payment with other ones. So from here, we could either create the invoice, right? So I can do that real quick. That would be the next step. Invoice the customer, create that draft, and confirm this, right? And then send it, have them pay, whatnot. But we're more focused on the sales order. So I'm going to go back here. So we can see that by actually selling these products and confirming that the customer wants these products, right? The sales order has been confirmed. It's created this smart button, which is called delivery. So if I click on delivery, that's what's going to bring us to the pick ticket, right? So technically, the picking is more of an inventory management function, so it's not going to happen within the sales application, but the sales order does live in here. And if I go back out of the sales app and go into inventory, we're going to see that this wasn't here before, right? The one transfer in pick. So I can see now that there is something waiting to be picked, and I can go into here and see a more detailed screen. So again, we only have one ticket in here, but you can see where it's coming from. So from WH stock to the packing zone, what the reference number is, the contact, so who it's going to, the scheduled date, which is what we talked about, right? So scheduled date is here, the source document, company, the status, and here there's a bunch of other things we could add to. The deadline, probably something that would be good to know. The carrier, like what you said, right? So there's no carrier here because we haven't selected one. The weight, destination, right? There's a bunch of other stuff we could add here. So I think this would be a good view for the warehouse manager as well, right? This is kind of
I
what
see
you were
what you're
looking at.
saying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the steps that you went through to get it to this screen, can they be more automated? What were the steps again that you um, did to get this onto this screen?
So all I did
Seemed
was
like a lot of steps, but maybe I'm wrong.
confirm the sales order.
Oh,
So
just confirm. Okay.
generally when you're, I mean, I don't want to assume anything, but I think the basic flow with Odoo is a company sells a product to a
Hmm.
customer and the customer confirms that sale, or if they were to purchase online on e-commerce, this would be more of an automated process, right? But in this case, we're sending a quotation to a customer. They are accepting and signing the quotation. After that quotation has been confirmed, either the customer has paid it, or in some cases, you can have the actual signing of the quotation count as the confirmation, depending on how you set it up. That automatically pushes those products that were in the quotation slash sales order directly to the inventory management module where we now see this pick ticket.
I like I like the language confirm. I think that is a good word because synonymous to sales order is order confirmation. That's basically the same thing. A sales order is an order confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
So I do like that language. So what you're telling me is on that previous screen where we saw like 50 sales orders, none of them have been confirmed.
Well, those had been confirmed, but if we go back to this screen, I just added the pick and the pack steps to this warehouse route. These will live in here, the delivery orders, right? These are a bunch of the sales orders that we saw earlier. So these are outbound orders that have yet to be processed. But I
Are
wanted
you
to show
saying
you,
these have already been picked?
yes, because this is a custom warehouse route. At default,
Right.
it's a one-step delivery, but I wanted to show the pick and the pack.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's why this is going straight to pick. Otherwise, if I hadn't enabled this, it would just go straight to delivery order. It would see 17 instead of 16.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, that I think you brought up a good point, which is really good because I was talking about there's different sizes of companies, and a different size of company would want a different route setting, which you showed us earlier. There's different route settings. I
Hmm.
understand now because in when all those orders were made before today's recording, that was not the route setting. But during today's recording, you made the route
Exactly.
setting pick, pack, and ship, and then ran it through. So if all those orders were created with the route setting of pick, pack, and ship, then we would have seen a big screen full of a pick. The screen that I was looking for would have been there.
We
Okay,
would see, yeah, we would see these in pick rather than just delivery.
makes
Exactly.
sense.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I knew I'd seen this before when a partner of ours demoed it,
Hmm.
and now it makes sense. I understand. So that's great because different companies need different route settings. So that's great. Okay, so we pick, and I guess we should finish the pick so we can pack because there's nothing in pack, huh?
Of course, yeah. So let's go ahead and jump into pick. So if we take a look here, we have demand, right? And the quantity in the units, 5 and 1. So it looks like we have this in stock, right? I can actually double check this too, go into forecast and see, yeah, we have one on hand and one outgoing, so a net of 0 units, but that's enough to send, right? So we're going to go ahead and send that out. Same with the chair floor protector. We have enough. Some more information here, right? We can see the deadline and the scheduled date. Um, we're coming from WH stock, the source location. So that's just the general stock location. If you had it in a sublocation, it would be coming from that sublocation, right? So you can really pick based on specific areas, right? If I go ahead and print this real quick, let me press continue and show you what gets generated. I'm going to share this tab. We now have what we call an internal transfer. So the only reason it's an internal transfer is because it's going from one Odoo location to another Odoo location, which would be the packing station, right? So that's why we use that language, the internal transfer. We can see this is WH, short for warehouse, which is our default warehouse location. Pick, number 1. We have the sales order. We have the warehouse this is taking place in, the status, it's ready, the scheduled date, the weight, the quantity and the products, as well as it's going to the WH packing zone from WH stock. And of course, if you don't like the way this looks or you want to add more fields, that's something you could do through customization or development.
Cool.
Do you have any questions on the actual pick slip itself?
And then it's titled internal transfer. I imagine we can choose whatever title we want, right? If we want to call it a pick ticket, we could change the verbiage internal transfer to pick ticket.
That should be possible.
Yeah, okay.